Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another trade recap. Today's a loss that we're going to be going over. Actually, a very kind of frustrating loss, but you will learn a lot if you stick through with the video because I'm going to be throwing out a lot of source psychologically that might relate to you and help out, because this was the trade right there. And we managed to lose on this trade, right? And it didn't even hit my stop loss. And I'm going to explain exactly why I ended up losing. And we actually just missed out TP as well. But let's pop back the replay. We'll go start new. We're going to come back to about here. Right, so this was the position. I'm just going to get rid of this stuff because this was just my annotations mid-trade. But what happened is we inverse this gap right here. Right, so we had this massive dump come Asia open. We actually ended up inversing on the 15-minute. We inversed this gap. We came into a first presented sort of BPR range as well. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll look for an inverse out of this and just catch it up somewhere to maybe this low resistance. Like, we have all this hanging right here. And then anyway, we get a really weak inverse right here, like super weak, right? We can't seem to push past this little range. I took the position anyway, ended up sitting in it for a little bit. Right here, I was kind of like, don't know how I feel, but the exact reason I got into the trade was more this right here, this little line. Because originally I was going to take it off this inverse. I didn't. I went against it. And then I noticed we had a resweep and a stop raid because we closed above the low. And then we pull straight back. So I was convinced that this low here was protected until we seek higher liquidity. That was my original bias. But then I got mixed up in the actual trading itself. And we ended up getting a few more candles. I think we push up a little bit. Yep. And then we start to get this, right? And this candle here, before that actually fully loaded in, was just pumping low. And I was like, look, clearly this is a weak inverse. I didn't trust my setup. I ended up exiting the position. I exited at right here. Stupid of me, because we ended up actually running the next candle and then playing pretty much all the way to where I wanted to see it happen. I probably would have ended up manually closing somewhere around here because I would have been up like 800-900. But yeah, look, it just goes to show when you enter in on a position, you have to trust that entry. Everything was going this way, like everything was going the right way. We were trading above midnight. We had the stop raid. We had a very clear reversal structure. I just didn't trust my position. Now, why did I not trust it? Well, obviously seeing a negative instantly after an inverse isn't the greatest sign that it's a strong inverse. But it was more the fact that I oversized on the position. I was risking $500 on here and my total drawdown on the account is $1,000. So essentially I was risking 50% of my account on this trade. When I saw it draw down to midnight open here, instantly I was like, am I really about to lose half of the account off of a trade in Asia that, to be honest, isn't amazing? And so I exited. So I exited off of fear. I exited because I oversized. And to be honest, since I took a position that it was okay, but the conditions for price weren't ideal, I should have undersized. I should have only been risking $250 on this to target the $500, right? Bang. That would have been ideal. I would have got a winning day. I wouldn't have risked as much. And even if I lost, I would have lost the same amount that I lost actually taking out only halfway, right? So what can you learn from this recap? Because it is a frustrating loss. And yes, of course I was frustrated when I saw what happened play out, but I knew that there was learning like to be made here. Like, I exited off of emotions, not because the trade was breaking its pattern or anything. It literally was still trading above midnight. We hadn't broken out this low yet. Everything was still in contact. I exited because of fear. So looking at this, what could I do better? And what can you guys do if you're in similar positions where you feel like you enter these amazing trades, but you stop them short or you cut the win short because you're worried? Even though the trade is presenting 100% in your direction, you're cutting it short. Why? Well, reason one, you're oversized. Right? Biggest reason, you're oversized, too big for your mental to handle. Right? In this case here, if this was, okay, if this inversed maybe up here and I was in like this, risking 500, I would be more than happy to do because I'd be more convinced that it's going to go in the direction. But having such a weak inverse with an instant rejection gave me that fear. And then being oversized on top of that just gave me a mental cloud and I failed there. But if you are oversized, it is going to affect the way you trade. Now, if you want to size in heavy on a position that you think is going to work, just step away from the charts. All right. Set yourself an alert, right, on TradingView or something like that for your break-even level and for your stop loss level, and step away from the charts. Whatever happens is going to happen. Because if you think the position is going to work well enough and you're oversized, don't let your emotions screw that up for you, exactly like what happened here. Next thing is obviously fear of like losing an account, it being a fresh funded account. I didn't want to go straight into half of the drawdown gone, but it happens. I end up down 500 on that account now anyway. So even if I took this loss, I'd still be in the same position. You can't really have that fear trading these evals and these fundeds because you're just never going to get anywhere. They're built to make money off of your fear, off of you closing out of positions early, cutting winners short, taking silly trades off your emotions. That is the whole system. That's what it's built from. Right? If you can learn to work around that, you will literally crack the code. And that is what I am currently in. I'm currently working on getting better at that and handling my emotions better. And this was definitely a big reminder to me of what I got to do and what I should be doing. But yeah, I don't want to rant on too long. We've already got recorded for about 7 minutes. Once again, I appreciate all the support. Last video almost had 100 views. That is crazy. We're almost at 20 subscribers as well, which is amazing. If you guys want to subscribe and you enjoy this content and the advice that I'm trying to give, then yeah, join along. I am only up and coming and I'm not super profitable. I've had a few payouts. I don't have any of that money anymore. They've all gone back into accounts or personal things. But I've made money from trading. So I have that urge to keep going. But yeah, we're still learning. So if you guys want to learn with me, hop along for the journey. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next recap.